to Raven Knight. My newest character. I'll go into a little more about her a little later on after the beginning cutscenes. Alright, yeah, I'll go over all of this stuff in regards to her after these beginning cutscenes. And I will try to voice as much as I can. So let's have fun!
Here. Here. Feel. Hear, feel, think.
Hey! Hey, you! You alright, lass? You were murdering something fierce for a while there. Feeling the effects of the ether, I reckon. You'll get used to it though, and don't worry. You there, halt. What's this all about? Inspection. Men, search the garage. I'm just an honest peddler. Sir, don't be too disappointed if you don't find nothing, eh? Mind your tongue, old man, lest I cut it out. Sir, look, somnus. Honest peddler, was it? Since when do honest peddlers deal in prohibited herbs? You're in a lot of trouble, old man. You'll rot in a dungeon until the end of your days. Unless you can afford the fine. Business as usual. Moja, to arms, to arms. Seven hells, consider this a warning. Now go, all of you. One in my bag. Phew. That kind of excitement ain't good for the heart. You'll be careful around them brass blades, lass. I'll have your shirt off the shirt off your back if they fancy it. Like common bandits they are, only less honest. Thank the gods for sending me some beastmen to the rescue, eh? Well, seeing as we still got a long ride ahead, you mind keeping me company till we arrive? Them young'uns don't care much for conversation, you see. Brun's the name and peddling's me trade. And judging by your unusual garments, I'll wager you're one of them new adventurers. I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business these days, especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? To amass a fortune. Fortune. I don't reckon you'll fit right in where we're going. Once you've learned to handle yourself in a fight, you'll want to pay a visit to whichever crafter or gathering guild takes your fancy. And there are plenty to choose from, too. Whether it be weaving, alchemy, goldsmithing, or mining that interests you. Ulda's got a place where you can learn your trade. Adventuring ain't just about killing things after all. Peaceful pastime may well help you make your fortune. Just remember though, there are more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. By the by, is this your first trip to Ulda? Yes. It is? Well then, let this journeyed itinerary tell you the ins and outs of your destination. Ulda is ruled by the Sultana in name, but as most folk know, the Syndicate holds all the real power. Them and their monetarist cronies would happily get rid of her grace altogether. But that won't happen while she still commands the loyalty of the royalists. And royalists are nothing if not loyal. These factions have long fought over power, throwing the weight of their wealth against each other, and they show no sign of stopping. Of course, the lizardmen, I'll see them all around, couldn't care less about Ulda. Politics. They have their own interests, see? And they ain't afraid to use force to serve them. They say, war is a gift to the peddlers. Need, breed, and profit. And that it shames me to say it, and I'm inclined to agree. Long last. Behold, Ulda, jewel of Thanalan, where folk turn sand into gold.
Deep in the sun-baked south, surrounded by the shifting sands of an endless desert, she rises, a solitary rose amidst the dust and rock, a symbol of defiance, her name, Ulda. Even with the coming of the 7th Umbral Era, hope springs eternal for the mongers and merchants who vie for lost fortunes in this bustling oasis. As the twin faces of Nold Thal maintain their vigil over all that has been and shall be, the present proffers a brave soul. One whose arrival could mark the beginning of a new era of prosperity for the realm.
And here's where we part ways, lass. I'm off to the market to deliver me wares. And then it's on to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this, by way of thanks for putting up with me prattle. You never did tell me your name, though. But here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and all can consider us square.
May the traders nurture our fortunes as they kindle the flames which burn within us all. For by fire are we reborn.
And that is the very beginning of Final Fantasy XIV. Nothing in this line of story is going to be entirely new to me, as I have been a part. I pretty much ended the game, and this is more of nostalgia based for me. So. Why venture over there? I mean you. Fresh off the carriage by any chance? Oh, can I tell, huh? Well. Name's Wyman. My business is knowing every bugger else's. Now then, what if I was to offer you some invaluable advice? By way of welcome to our fair city. Free of charge, even. Just this once, like. Alright. That's an easy one. Now I do have to go ahead and get all this, my head and everything set up. So, I will be right back after I get my head all set up, alright? Okay, my head is set up. Anyway. Okay, so, before we get into it, everything, so, first things first. Hello. Second thing is I need to go ahead and do this. Okay. So that way nothing gets changed. Okay, so I changed my name or the little tag to that because we are gonna do things a certain way. So when we are not fighting or off a road like this, we will be walking. If we're off a road or we're fighting, I'm okay to run. I wasn't trying to run off. I'm just, okay, so yeah, so pretty much if that's going to be the case. We're also going to try and, if we can, once we get good enough, we are going to try to make all of our own weapons. So I will have to unlock alchemy, once I reach level 10 Thaumaturge and do the quest for it. And all of these rules is going to be written down in the description below. I don't need this one on my bar anymore. And I'm going to keep this one just in case I forget what the keybind for it is. Anyway, and another. I haven't unlocked it, have I? Where's that? I think it's under social. Yeah. Okay, that way, because I don't remember every single emote that there is. But yeah, so it's basically we're going to use some emotes. I'll keep this here because I'm going to use it a lot. But yeah, it's going to be nice and simple. Okay, so another thing is we are going to, I know, would you please stop? Okay, so we are only going to travel by foot, or we will travel by boat or by airship. One of those three. One of those three. Obviously we can use mounts and stuff like that, but we're going to try to avoid using return. So yeah, we'll just take it off. We'll try to avoid using return and teleport, and we also will have to accept every quest that we come across, regardless of what level we are. So no matter what kind of quest it is, we will get it done. So let's go ahead and get started with Mr. Wymond. Explain to anyone that you don't know your way around here. If I let you go wandering off down the nearest darkest alley, you're certain to get mugged, or worse. And I don't want that on my conscience. So, before you do anything else, you'll want to head over to the Quicksand and speak with Momodi. She's the master of the Adventurers Guild and can set you on the right path. Just take those steps over yonder and pass through the double doors. You'll just find her inside. And that's as much as you're getting for free. Good luck with the adventurer. I'm in the west. I'm also gonna skip any of the active help stuff because, yeah. Oh, another rule is we won't be doing any traveling after 10 p.m. So once this right here says 10 p.m., we will stop traveling. So we either have to be in a little city that's like, say, okay, so say like Blackbrush or something like that, or the Coffin or whatever. So those are the rules in terms of this. It's gonna be quite interesting. Why, hello there. Who might you be? If you're looking to join the Adventurers Guild, you've come to the right place. Name's Muddy and I own this fine establishment if it pleases you. I also manage the Adventurers Guild here in Oldar. So, yeah, I might say that looking after green adventures, like yourself, is my vocation. And, lucky for you, that it is. Without someone like me to steer you right, you'd soon find yourself out in the middle of nowhere, caught up in business you don't understand. Like our conflict with the Eorzean, for example. They've been plaguing the Sultanate for forever now. Then there's the Gallian Empire. None can say for sure what they're plotting these days, only that they are. The people drink and make merry, but underneath it all there's worry and a lingering feeling of loss. And little wonder, it's scarce been 5 years since the lesser moon cracked and opened like a giant egg, releasing an abomination intent on turning the realm into the 8th hell. So much was lost in the blink of an eye. It was like the end of the world had come at last. But then things began to get foggy. Everyone's got their own version of what happened next. Some of them, 2 or 3. You'd think people would remember something like that, but the fact is they don't. Nobody does. There's only one thing the survivors agree on, though. The part played by a band of adventurers who laid down their lives for a realm that wasn't their own. They fought valiantly, and like so many others, they never returned. Deeds worth remembering. I'm sure you'll agree. It's just a shame our recollections of these brave heroes are just as jumbled as those of the calamity itself. Whenever we try to call their faces to mind, it's like standing between us and the midday sun, permanently silhouetted. I bet that sounds poetic to you, don't it? Well, it's not. It's bloody infuriating. But even if we can't remember them, we'll not let them be forgotten. And so, we call them the Warriors of Light. And they'll forever stand as a shining example of what adventurers can achieve. And that's why I welcome new arrivals like yourself to our fair city. All I ask is that you lend a helping hand and try to leave Old Dawn in a better state than you found her. If you can promise that, I'd be happy to let you join the guild. You got it. Alright, a promise is a promise. Now, I'm counting on your help to put the past behind us. We need people working and spending and bickering like the old days. And a happy and prosperous Old Dawn means more business for the quicksand too. Any road, let's make this official. Go ahead and write your name in the register neat as you can. Raven Knight. Well, ain't that a charming name? Just rolls off the tongue, don't it? Alright, Miss Knight. On behalf of the Adventurers Guild, I officially... please, sir, be merciful. 12 is my witness, I swear to you, I'll bring you your money. In ease, it is said that even a merciful god can be driven to vengeance if thrice blasphemed. Be grateful you were given a 4th chance to offend. You two, attend to the scum. No, please, mercy. Well, ain't that a sour sight? Nor an uncommon one, if I'm honest. Don't worry though, if you work hard, I doubt you'll end up like him. Just the same, if you ever need a bit of advice about one thing or another, pay me a visit. Just don't go bothering me every time you stub your bloody toe. Alright? Of course, I do enjoy hearing a lady muse on the many manhoods of her acquaintance from time to time. Any road. Welcome to Old Dawn, Raven. Take a moment to catch your breath, and I'll teach you a little bit about our fair city. that's the end of the introductory game tutorial. Alright. Before you go charging off to find your fortune, I have a few basic tasks I'd like you to perform so as to help you get to know the place. First of all, I want you to visit the Eorzean Plaza. To get there, head west from here till you reach Emerald Avenue. Then look to the north. You should see a giant floating crystal called an Eorzean. If it weren't for Eorzeans, traveling around Eorzean would be a darn sight more troublesome than it is. Of course, you still need to attune with them before you can use them, so be sure to do that with the one in the plaza. You ever attuned with an Eorzean before, Raven? If not, just lay your hand on the thing and you'll see what I mean. When you've done that, I want you to pay a visit to the Thaumaturge's Guild over at Eorzean Time. Assuming that scepter ain't just for show, you might consider training there. And finally, I want you to visit the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Over on the steps of Thaw, goods from all across Eorzean and beyond turn up there every day. You'll have no trouble finding armor, weapons, or anything else a fledgling adventurer like yourself might need. You might say that everything's for sale here in Ul'dah, as long as you've got the guild. Just make sure you don't pay more than you ought, Rev. There's plenty as won't scruple to swindle unsuspecting foreigners like yourself, especially if they think no one's looking out for their best interest. Which is why I'm giving you this letter. When you visit the exchange, find a gentleman named Cesaroga and give it to him. He'll be happy to tell you about the markets once he's ready. In short, visit the Eorzean Plaza, the Thaumaturge's Guild, and the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Simple. Oh, but before you go, a word of advice. While there's more than a few unsavory characters out there who will try to take advantage of you, there are also some with honest-to-goodness problems, whom you should consider offering a helping hand to. A lot of folk are lured to this city by the promise of wealth and power. What many of them fail to realize is that instead of chasing after the guild, the moment they get here, they ought to be making friends. Let it be known that you're willing to give as much as you get, and opportunities will come your way. Speaking of which, you should speak with that smith over yonder. Those lads always have some good advice for up-and-coming adventurers. Otherwise, that's about it for me. It's past time you got going. Oh, and let me know when you've finished, will you? That way I won't spend my days worrying that you're down to your small clothes without a guild to your name. Alright, so I guess first things first, let's head to the Eorzean Plaza. Yeah, you find a lot of interesting people here on this server. Oh, and I occasionally get a lag spike, which is actually quite normal. Alright. Now, I know I ain't gonna be using them, but I'm still attuned to them all. Now, granted, you can't really get many places. There's a lot of traveling involved with the way I'm going to be doing stuff. So. Yeah, and there are people that will be staring at me since I am walking every which way. Lyman would like to know what you think of Old Dog. So, how are you taking to Old Dog, Raven? Make any new friends in higher places yet? Well, when you have the Sultanas here one day, I hope you won't have forgotten about old Lyman. As long as you're here, mayhap you can do me a favor and take this missive to Josias at the Platinum Mirage. It's just over yonder, and the man will even give you some gil for your trouble. If only working to save is this easy, eh? Oh, what is that song? Anyway. Oh, also, if I'm doing like things like, say, gate, over in the Gold Saucer, for anyone who doesn't know, I will be running in those as well. Only because you can't really do much otherwise, and they're timed. You literally have 10 minutes to complete them. Hail, adventurer! Might you have come at the behest of Miss Mamodi of the Quicksand? Excellent. Which brings us to the matter of the attunement fee. That will be 100,000 gil, if you please, madam. Oh, apologies. I do so relish the opportunity to make that jest. The look on your face was absolutely priceless. But the fact that you were so easily deceived suggests to me that you are unfamiliar with the use of aetherites. Allow me to explain. These crystalline agglomerations tap into the ethereal energies and are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Perchance you've heard of return and teleport. Well, these transportation spells make direct use of the aetherites and their connection to the flow of ether. Given that there is an aetherite in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer with a mind to explore the realm will wish to seek out and attune herself to each and every one. But even if you have no intention of wandering beyond the Sultanate's borders, it would be prudent for you to attune yourself to any aetherites you encounter from now on. I pray you found that informative. Should you wish to learn more about aetherites or transportation magic, I should be happy to answer your questions. Yep. I really enjoy the game. There's so many different aspects to it. Like, this right here is a server where I know absolutely no one, and no one knows me. I love it. Tell me, what brings you here, friend? Looking for a bit of work, perhaps? Some small job to add a little weight to that coin purse of yours? Well, you're in luck. The pugilists have just placed an order with me for several leather gloves and harnesses they use for sparring. But the traders are cruel, for I find myself lacking the hides required. Well, that I had the pelts for a few snapping shrews. What say you, friend? Care to help a merchant down on his luck? Bring me 5 snapping shrew pelts, and I promise to make it worth your while. If you can find the creatures roaming in central Thanalan, that is. That's fun. And before you ask, do you even know how to play a Thaumaturge? The answer is yes. Very well. It's actually the first class I ever leveled up to 80. Do you have business with the Platinum Mirage today? A missive from Wyman? Alright then, let's have a look. Bird is barren, let the hounds feast. So it goes. Oh, this? Well, you see, the guild is often contracted to provide protective services. Unfortunately, for this particular petitioner, Wyman's investigation has revealed his finances to be wanting. Many adventurers, like you, don't mind working for free. But we have a business to run. I have 4 mouths to feed, so this bird will have to fend for himself, I'm afraid. Oh. He doesn't like the way I look at him. Okay. Hey, you. I saw you looking at me. You got something to say, huh? No? Well, I do. You know Didilata? Short, broke, never pays what he owes? Yeah. That bleeding horse on, tell him to pay up, or I swear by the 12 I'll beat him so hard, it'll feel like the second coming of Dalamud. If I see that little face, I'm end up pounding him into a bloody pulp. Like as not, so you go and tell him. Okay. So Miki. Oh God, it's good. Gilder's good. Alright, I'll get back every gil I own, I swear, but no more beatings, I back you. Look, I haven't got the gil on hand, but I do have this ring. Ain't much to look at, but it'll surely fetch a high price. It was with your departed mom's wedding ring. God rest her soul. But she'll understand. Show it to Mamani over at the ossuary. You can get your coin. I am Erasmus of the Order of Naldal, and I am charged with studying the anatomy of this region's fauna and the environs in which they dwell. For the dark art of our order is death itself, and power over death can come only through knowledge of life. One day, I shall publish my findings in a single comprehensive volume. The Many Breaths of Thanalan. But there is much work to be done before that day. Aid me, sister. Bring me 5 bottles of marmot blood, and perhaps I shall name you in a footnote. Marmots are hardy creatures that thrive nigh everywhere. You will most certainly find them just outside the city in western Thanalan, by way of the Gate of Sultana. And do take care. They can be feisty little critters when threatened. Welcome to the Thaumaturge's Guild. It is fate that has guided your steps here this day, friend. I see that you harbor arcane ambitions, though your journey has scarcely begun. Within these hallowed halls, the arts of devastation are taught, from evil magics with which to bring about an enemy's ruin. If you would join our ranks and wield such power, you must need know of our beginning. The nation of Ulgar inherited its traditions from ancient Baladia, a city founded by the descendants of the first mages. The secrets of the illustrious sorcerers were ultimately entrusted to the priests of the Order of Nalthal, who have passed them down from generation to generation ever since. Focused and refined over centuries of use in the Order's funeral rites, the arcane magics of our ancestors eventually emerged as the art we now know as thaumaturgy. A freezing blizzard to halt corruption, a raging fire to cleanse the corpse, a bolt of lightning to expel the sins of mortal life. The dwarmers employed in the preparation of the dead are equally efficacious when it comes to applied to the living. It is for this reason that we are feared and respected in equal measure. Thus does our guild thrive. Ensconced in the catacombs of the Eorzean Ossuary, a sanctuary devoted to Thor, divine arbiter of the afterlife. What say you then, adventurer? If you would plumb the abyssal depths of thaumaturgy, let our learned sages guide your descent. But before you leap into the darkness, you must prove yourself to our guildmasters that you are possessed of the spiritual fortitude necessary to look upon that which waits therein. When you are ready to submit to the judgment of our most eminent mages, say the word. Well, adventure, will you join our guild? Or do you presume to ignore the urgings of impatient destiny? A wise decision indeed. To prepare for your initiation, I would have you study the volumes of fundamental thaumaturgical principle, all 108 of them. Or at least I would, if such requirements had not been abolished. Too great a deterrent to fresh novices, they said. I suppose you shall just have to settle for calling upon the collective wisdom of our guild masters. We have 5, you see, all brothers of the same house. Though they all wield supreme authority, it is the eldest who provides a singular voice for the guild. When one is required, Master Kokobigo, I believe. Okay. Greetings, adventurer. What brings you to Eorzean Time? You wish to sell this heirloom on behalf of Diddlata? Very well. It is most unfortunate when such drastic measures must be taken. And doubly so when the item in question is a fake. And such a gaudy, poorly wrought one. Also, you do know that our appraisals are not free. Normally, the free is subtracted from the agreed value. And thus, considering the negligible value of this ring, I'm afraid you would still owe us. However, since this is a rather unusual circumstance, we shall waive this fee once. No need to concern yourself with the bauble. I will personally see to its disposal. I will want to keep this down here. Right here. Only because I have need of that. Beetle Bop. What? Oh, thou's teeth missed. Your mother never told you not to startle with thaumaturge. Look at that expectant face, Kokobiger. This lady's obviously a new applicant for the guild, seeking audience with our eldest brother. Oh, Prelate Yayake. She can recite 307 verses of the funerary rites of the virtuous fallen from memory, but the simple task of keeping our name straight seems ever beyond her grasp. Well, I, for one, find the constant confusion endlessly entertaining. My apologies, my dear. My merriment was not meant to mock your mistake. It is our sibling Kokobuki with whom you should speak. What's this? What's this? Great thou has led to us a new aspirant. Aha! Kokobuki, were you here the entire time? Greetings, child. I am Kokobuki, the eldest, and I would venture to say the wisest of the 5 masters of the Thaumaturge's Guild. It is my solemn duty to furnish our would-be initiates with a succinct understanding of our beloved art. Thus, I would have your fullest attention. To wield thaumaturgy, it is to unleash devastation of the highest magnitude. The lethal force of our spells far exceed the destructive capability of any other form of arcane manipulation. Fire, lightning, blizzards, somnolence. The thaumaturge calls upon an expansive arsenal of offensive incantations to incapacitate and obliterate all manner of adversaries. Open your mind to our sorceress teachings, and you too soon shall hold the unparalleled power of our discipline in the palm of your hand. Of course, such power has a price. You must be willing to plunge headfirst into the forbidding chasm of thaumaturgy's secrets. For advancement in this art comes only with the completion of deadly and terrible trials. I ask you now, aspirant, are you prepared to leap into the abyss in pursuit of power unrivaled? Yes, I am. A confident response. Your name, if you will. Raven Knight. Very well, Raven. Let us mark your initiation with a trial to test the limits of your aptitude for channeling thaumaturgy. Huge hornets, star marmots, and snapping shrews inhabit this land in abundance. Exercise your sorceress might and slay 3 of each of these creatures before returning to my side. Alright. He thought his head. Oh, I need some door open. How can the Osari demand such exorbitant contributions every single month? It's outrageous, I tell you. Don't they understand that a woman has needs? How do they expect me to pay for rouge and sunset dresses and feed my mama? Oh, if only I had the foresight to marry a more ambitious man. This is all his fault. If he just worked harder and showed some initiative, surely he would be rewarded, maybe even promoted. If things don't improve, it won't be long before I join the beggars in Pearl Lane. Save me from this cruel fate, I beg of you. Speak with my husband, Bobo Nima. find some way to motivate him. You should find him at the Coliseum entrance, wearing one of those ridiculous outfits. Okay. I'm Onima. Congratulations, you found the world's worst husband. That is if you believe my heartbeat I have for a wife. She never cooks, never cleans. She just gallivants around, spending my hard-earned money. And now I see she's speaking ill of me to bloody strangers. Well, if you're hell-bent on meddling in my affairs, you can assist me by taking some of these Friends the Fair flyers and posting them on the walls inside the Coliseum. I've got a long night ahead of me, and so I won't be getting to it anytime soon. When you've finished, go and tell Vulcan at the Gladiators Guild. He should give you something for your trouble. You had something? Ah! What have you done? Your kind has no business even look at a lady such as I. Such shocking, unbelievable insolence. And now look. Look at how my gal is scattered across the ground. Pick it up right this instant. I also just want to point out that, do you see how big this gill is? And I'm currently carrying 206 of it in my pocket. That is a lot of gill. My gill now, and there better not be missing. It appears to be everything. What are you still standing at? Are you expecting some kind of reward? The insolence. Okay. What is that? Salmon. Is that? Oh, that's a bow. Which bow? Ebony longbow? I don't know it. Have you come to wish me luck? I appreciate the thought. There's no need to worry. You don't know who I am? The next biggest thing that's coming to the Coliseum. Zazariku is my name, and you'll be hearing all about my exploits in the coming days. I've even thought of a title for myself. The Garnet Gladiator. Ah, which reminds me, I've yet to collect the circlet I commissioned from the Goldsmiths Guild. You wouldn't mind picking it up for me, would you? Okay. You helping Boba Nima? Well, ain't that charitable of ya. Fran's got pretty popular of late, and his fans keep stealing these flyers, taking them home as souvenirs. Ah, so you've met Boba Nima's wife. Now I understand. Sorry to hear you got caught up in all that. Yes, me. They are made for one another. Not that it's my place to judge any road. We'd appreciate your help. Okay, Jarson here looking for work, eh? Well, you're in luck. It just so happens I have a deed that needs doing. Ladybug's been wreaking havoc on the outskirts of town. Something in the air of late's made them ornery and as oryx in a rut. Ain't much for fighting on their own, but in numbers they're more than a match for any merchant who's seen more days at the teat than he has on the battlefield. Well, what'll it be? Fancy putting down 4 more of the buggers? Or don't ya? Yeah, I can do that. Let's go ahead. I have to head over to the gladiators, or I have to head over to the what do you call it? Goldsmith's Guild. There you go. Zazoriku's Sakura? Just a moment. Oh, this is so embarrassing. I'm afraid crafting the circlet to Zazoriku's exact specifications has proven somewhat difficult. We ran out of garnets halfway through our work, and we're still waiting on the next shipment. I hate to put in post, but would you explain the situation to Crook Taff at the Miners Guild? Our records indicate that he was supposed to deliver the gemstones yesterday. Mayhap it slipped his mind? Okay. What could be keeping her? My beloved Yellow Moon. I promised to meet her this very smart. But 2 bells have passed, and I've nary a word from her. Oh, I hope she's all right. As much as I wish to go off and find her, I simply cannot. What if she were to come in my absence? Please, would you search for her in my stead? It's possible she's somewhere near the Weaver's Guild. She's always enjoyed watching that. Oh my gosh, do you think she's left me for someone more dapper? I try not to look like a pumpkin, but I've no mind for fashion. Don't you worry, I'll find her. I have a mind to drain a pint, so hurry up and speak your business. She wants how many bloody garnets? Oh, 7 now. Lass, we don't grow on trees. But more than that, this lad what fancies him the next Franz the Fair ought to worry less about style and more about swordplay. Anyway, I'll do my part to ensure the little gets as bedecked in all the garnets he can afford. And if he dies in his first fight, well, at least he'll have a pretty corpse. Anyway, so I guess this is going to be it for the night. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, or day, or whatever time it is for you guys. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!